Well, I think that, remains to be seen. However, I would like to say that when small businesses, do need these kind of loans, they should turn to SBA, the Small Business Administration, because the SBA is open for business. There are 68 district offices around the country. And during these times of disaster, when SBA can step in and make the loans themselves to small businesses, they can relieve them from payroll, from capital disbursements, et cetera, with these low-interest, long-term loans. And please, I urge small businesses to reach out to those SBA offices or go to sba.gov, for further direction. The current administrator, Javita Carranza, is just working diligently with the governors of the states across the country. And I know one thing that is really helpful, if the governors of the states would go ahead and declare their states, disaster areas, and to go ahead and submit their applications to SBA, because then the administrator will review those applications and approve them. But if they're coming in piecemeal, it just takes much longer to do. So I would urge the governors of those states to go ahead and make that declaration.
How much do you think, how troublesome is it going to be for some of these businesses to guarantee worker pay, which is another hot issue? Obviously, the new legislation mandates that people who are infected with coronavirus or have to be quarantined will receive 2 weeks' pay. I mean, that puts a lot of pressure on small business as well.
Well, it certainly does, but I think the government, certainly the administration, is working wholeheartedly, hand in hand with small and medium-sized businesses to try to get this legislation passed, and will be farther reaching to relieve these pressures on small businesses for this payment for sick leave and just for extended sick leave payment or emergency payments. And it's just critical that, the government does continue to work on this legislation. When the Senate comes back, I think the Senate has said they want to see more for small businesses. So, it is clearly hopeful for small businesses. There is a lifeline for them through the SBA, which does have liquidity and is open for business for these small businesses.
I mean, is that going to prevent restaurants and gyms and yoga studios from going bankrupt?
I certainly think that it can in the short term, depending, you never know how highly leveraged some of the small businesses are, but it can certainly help, with payroll, with helping with their accounts payable, and other debts that they have from the loans from the SBA. So that can really get them through a period of time. And then I think with the tax abatements that the legislation is looking at, this can be helpful to many small businesses. Those that are highly leveraged, it's a tough point right now, but to the best of the ability of SBA, they can certainly help with these bailouts.
Do you have any sense, Linda, of how many layoffs we could be looking at? I mean, companies with workers, as you know this, with less than 500 people, that makes up half of the private sector workforce in this country. How bad could it get?
Well, it certainly could get bad. I don't have a crystal ball to look into that. I know that some of the small businesses, just people that I know that are trying to work with their employees, they're saying, we're looking at every way we can, reducing hours, and that way rather than doing layoffs, because it's really harder to gear back up after layoffs, than it is to work to try to stretch out the time. You can reduce hours, you can cut pay to help people stay where they are. And so I think that when businesses can do that, then they help avoid, the total layoffs. So those that can do that are certainly working with their employees to try to keep them on board, even if reduced hours or reduced pay.
Linda McMahon, thank you for phoning in.